You are listening to Morning Edition on 89.3 WFPL. I'm Bill Burton, and it's time for us to take a look at the science behind the forecast as I am joined by Wave 3 meteorologist Tawana Andrew. Good morning, Tawana.
Good morning. Today's topic is one aspect of severe weather that I really don't like at all.
No, it can be a little terrifying. We're talking about hail today and the different sizes of it, how fast it can come at you, all of the terrifying things we have in store for you here with the latest science behind the forecast. Enlighten us, please.
Okay, so hailstones form when updrafts throw raindrops into sub-freezing portions of the atmosphere. So you're going higher up in thunderstorms, it gets colder, and then these raindrops starts to freeze. Now, the hailstones will grow larger and larger as they collide with additional water droplets that will freeze onto their surface. So you have an option of the water droplets freezing either slowly or instantaneously. If water droplets freeze instantaneously, then you end up with this cloudy ice that forms as the newly formed ice basically is trapping air bubbles. If the water droplets freeze a little bit more slowly, then the air bubbles can escape and then the new ice will be clear. And this is the reason why you have the rings inside of a hailstone if you ever cut one in half. So,
Very cool.
uh, and literally very cool.
Well played.
Thank you. Thank you. So the rings of these clear and cloudy ice in the hailstones are due to the varying temperatures and water content that they encounter as they travel throughout a thunderstorm. So a lot of people think of the wind inside of a thunderstorm moving up and down because we talk a lot about updrafts inside of a thunderstorm. But it also moves horizontally, that wind within a thunderstorm too. So as the wind is throwing this hailstone around, it's changing the environmental conditions and thus changing what the layers of the hailstone really become. So interesting fact, if a hailstone goes too far up into the atmosphere, it will actually stop growing. The reason for this is that liquid water is required for hailstones to grow to a significant size. Once that hailstone goes way too high up in altitude, the temperature can get incredibly cold. In fact, at the tops of thunderstorms, you could have temperatures as low as 40 degrees below zero.
Oof.
So in that kind of temperature, everything's turning to ice. and that is why a hailstone won't grow if you throw it too far up into the atmosphere. Now, these hailstones, so these hailstones will eventually fall once there's no longer any support for them. So if the hailstone is too large or if the updraft within a thunderstorm weakens, then it's going to come crashing to the ground. Most of the time, good news is the hailstone will melt before it reaches the ground. So you have all these warmer temperatures eating away at it, and it just basically just falls as a water droplet, hits you on the head. That's not that bad. But if we can literally live with that. But if the hailstone is so large that it will melt, yes, but it will survive enough to reach the ground as just a smaller hailstone. Now, here's the part where I might scare some people, and it's fascinating, but it is a little scary. So for small hailstones, so let's say pea to nickel sized hail, the expected fall speed is between 20 to 25 miles per hour.
Okay. All right. Fast, but not too terrifying.
Exactly. Within a severe thunderstorm, you can get quarter to golf ball sized hail. And the fall speed for that on average is between 25 and 40 miles per hour.
Okay, you have my attention.
Now, in the strongest supercells, like the ones we hear about in parts of Texas, Oklahoma, Nebraska, you can get hail tennis ball to grapefruit sized in those storms. The fall speed for those, 44 to 72 miles per hour.
I don't want something the size of a grapefruit coming at me at 72 miles an hour.
People drive that fast on a highway. So that is pretty quickly. And then the most dangerous hailstones, so the ones where the diameter can exceed 4 inches,
Yeah.
can fall at over 100 miles per hour.
Okay.
Okay.
Alrighty then.
So I mentioned the diameter exceeding 4 inches for a hailstone that can fall at over 100 miles per hour, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, the largest hailstone ever recovered in the United States fell in Vivian, South Dakota on
Okay.
June 23rd, 2010, with a
Hmm.
diameter of 8 inches, and it
Oh,
weighed
Lord.
1 pound, 15 ounces.
Wow.
That is a near 2 pound hailstone falling from the sky.
No, thank you. I don't want that anywhere near me.
So maybe now when we have severe thunderstorm warnings, everybody will head a little bit further inside.
That sounds like a wise choice to, to me. Wow, there's a lot of information there to digest, but we certainly understand it a lot better, just how dangerous hail can be, thanks to the latest edition of Science Behind the Forecast with Wave 3 meteorologist Tawana Andrew. Thanks for the knowledge, Tawana.
Of course.